Hello, leaders, and welcome back to Empowering You, a strengths-based podcast for leaders of leaders. I'm your host, Dr. Shauna T. Sobers. In this podcast, we explore leadership, resilience, and how to show up as your fullest self, both at work and in life. Today, we're diving into something many leaders experience, but few talk about openly. And we'll also cover how to overcome it. It's the fight trauma response. We're going to talk about how we can transform it into intentional and empowered leadership. So here's the question for you. Have you ever had someone challenge your decision in a meeting and instantly felt your heart racing, your voice tightening, and that urgent need to defend yourself? That, my friends, is your nervous system in survival mode. It's called the fight trauma response. One of the comments of my LinkedIn Living the Resilience Tree newsletter captured this perfectly. He said, leadership and healing practices often overlap more than people realize. And he's right. Your body, your mind, and your leadership are all intertwined. So now I'm going to share a story. I once had a team member publicly challenge a decision I made. Immediately, my body went into fight mode. My instincts were screaming, defend yourself, push back. For a few tense moments, strategy didn't exist. I was reacting purely from survival. But later, I realized my reaction wasn't just about that particular moment. It was a buildup of stress, of bias, of past experiences. While this is totally natural, it wasn't the type of leadership I wanted to model. This is where the resilience tree model can help and how we're going to frame it today. So for those new to the podcast, welcome. The resilience tree model is something that I've developed to help leaders ground themselves, to leverage support systems, to respond with intention instead of reaction. So a quick refresher of the 4 components. The first is roots. Or one of them, since it's kind of cyclical, but roots. These are your grounding practices. This is rest. This is reflection, connecting with people, or spaces that align with your identity or your values. This is pausing. This is breathing, or talking with a trusted colleague to reset your nervous system before responding. Then there's branches. These are the people who support you, who challenge you, who hold you accountable. They help you move from that reactive fight mode to thoughtful, strategic action. Then there's fruit. This is the outcome of mindful leadership. This is boundaries, pause, intentional responses. So that fight trauma response is going to signal it's time to set a boundary. I hear you, and I need a moment to process before responding. That's kind of what fruit's telling you. Then finally, there's environment. The culture and systems that are around you. This is psychological safety. This is clear communication and predictable processes that reduce the triggers and help everyone show up more fully. So when leaders respond from the fight trauma response, trust erodes, team members might feel unsafe, collaboration might suffer. But when we lean into the resilience tree, we can transform that fight into purposeful action. Leaders who do this trust themselves to respond thoughtfully. They trust their branches to give honest feedback. They trust their environment to support psychological safety. This isn't just survival at that point, it's leadership presence in action. Here's what you can do today to transform your fight response. Pause and check in. Notice your body's signals and ask, am I reacting to the present or is past stress triggering me? Ensure your roots and branches. Engage them. Who or what can ground you and help you respond intentionally? Set those boundaries and pause. Use that fight as a signal, not a call to action. You don't have to respond to it right away. Rebuild the trust. After a strong reaction, you can repair with compassion for yourself and for others. Be honest and admit what you were going through, what you were feeling, and then move forward saying, this is what we can do next. When was the last time you reacted from a fight mode at work in particular? Which root or branch can help you respond differently next time? How can you create an environment that reduces unnecessary triggers for you and for your team? Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Empowering You, a strengths-based podcast for leaders of leaders. Remember, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, intention, and growth. Treat yourself with the same compassion you extend to others, and let your resilience tree guide you from survival to empowered leadership. If you liked this episode, subscribe, share, and grab a copy of my book, Resilience Tree, a model for women leaders of color and those who support them. It's available on my website, ShaunaTsobers.com. Until next time, keep thriving and keep growing your resilience tree.